Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing amazing today. In this video, we're diving into the latest updates about Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos. You don't want to miss this. So make sure to stay tuned till the end and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. The sun had barely risen over New York City, casting soft gold across the skyline, when Kelly Ripa sensed something was wrong. There was no reason for her to feel it. No storm in the forecast, no troubling text on her phone, no sign of disaster. Yet, as she walked into the kitchen, still wearing her favorite oversized pajama top, a weight pressed against her chest. Mark Consuelos sat at the table, fingers curled around a mug of untouched coffee. He wasn't scrolling on his phone, wasn't reading a script, wasn't smiling in that way that always lit up the entire room. His eyes were fixed downward, unfocused. The air felt heavier than usual. Kelly paused in the doorway. "Mark?" she asked gently. "Everything okay?" He didn't answer immediately, never a good sign. Usually he greeted her with a kiss, a joke, or a comment about how she somehow looked glamorous even half asleep. But today the silence between them stretched so long it trembled. Finally, he lifted his gaze. His eyes were red. "Kel, we need to talk." Those 4 words, universally dreaded, universally chilling, struck her like a sudden gust of winter wind. "What happened?" she whispered. "Is it the kids? Your parents? Work?" Mark shook his head, swallowing hard. "No, it's me." Kelly took a slow breath. She walked toward him carefully, as if afraid one wrong step might shatter whatever fragile thing was hanging in the air. "Tell me," she urged. Mark hesitated before speaking. "I got the results back." Kelly blinked. "Results? What results?" He pushed the envelope across the table. Its sharp edges scraped against the wood, the sound slicing through the quiet like a blade. "The tests I took last month," he said softly. "The ones the doctor insisted I get after I kept feeling dizzy." Kelly felt her heartbeat stutter. She had assumed it was stress or exhaustion. Their schedules had been unforgiving lately: travel, filming, live shows every morning, rehearsals at night. Mark had brushed off the symptoms, insisting they were minor. Now she wished she had insisted harder. With trembling fingers, she opened the envelope. Silence. Then the world seemed to tilt. "Mark," she whispered again, voice cracking. He reached across the table, taking her hand. His grip was warm, steady, heartbreakingly steady. "I didn't want you to see it alone." Kelly fought the burning in her eyes, the tightening in her throat. She stared at the words she didn't want to understand. Words that could change everything about their future. Words that threatened the life they had built together for nearly 3 decades. Her hand flew to her mouth. Tears gathered instantly. "No," she said, shaking her head. "No, no, no, this has to be wrong. This isn't real." "I wish it wasn't," Mark murmured. "But the doctor called me early this morning. It's confirmed." Kelly's tears spilled before she could stop them. She stood abruptly, as if her body needed movement to survive the moment, and paced toward the window. Her breath came out in jagged pieces. Mark watched her with a shattered look. He had feared this reaction most, not anger, not frustration, but the devastation etched across her face. "I didn't want to tell you like this," he said quietly. Kelly spun around. "How else could you tell me? Something like this? There's no right way." She walked back toward him, placing both hands on his face. "Why didn't you wake me up the moment you got the call?" "Because," he said, tears finally sliding down his cheeks, "I wanted you to have one more peaceful morning." That broke her completely. She sank into his arms, their bodies folding together in shared fear, shared grief, shared love. The kind of love that grows stronger in the darkest moments. For several minutes, neither spoke. Kelly could feel his heartbeat against her ear, steady, alive, and she clung to it fiercely. Eventually, she pulled back. "We're going to fight this, whatever it is, whatever the doctor said. You're not alone. You hear me?" Mark nodded, but the pain in his eyes remained. "It's going to change everything," he warned softly. "My schedule. Our schedule. I might have to step back from work for a while. Maybe a long while." Kelly wiped her cheeks. "Then we change everything. Together." He swallowed again, and she could see another unspoken truth behind his eyes. "There's something else," he confessed. "I already discussed treatment options with the doctor, but, Kel, the journey is going to be hard. And I didn't want you to be blindsided." Kelly sat across from him again, taking both his hands in hers. "Blindside me," she said fiercely. "I'd rather be blindsided with you than live in calm without you." The expression on his face softened, just slightly. That familiar spark of admiration that had always made her feel stronger. "You're incredible," he whispered. "You're stuck with me," she corrected. But inside, her heart was breaking. She never imagined waking up to news that threatened everything. In their home, normally filled with laughter, bickering, and warm morning rituals, there now hung a fear so heavy it felt like the walls themselves were holding their breath. Still, Kelly refused to give it power. She stood. "We're calling the doctor together. We're making a plan. We're doing this step by step, okay?" Mark hesitated again. "I don't want you to rearrange your whole life for me." "Too late," she replied softly. "My whole life has always included you. That's not changing." More tears, his this time. Kelly sat beside him, resting her head on his shoulder. "Whatever this is, whatever we face, we'll face it as a team." For a few minutes they sat in silence, listening to the soft hum of the city waking up outside their window. The skyline glowed brighter now, golden light settling across Mark's face, casting shadows beneath his eyes. He looked tired, not physically, but in the way someone looks when they've been carrying a secret too heavy for one person. Kelly reached for his hand again. "Tell me everything, every detail. Don't hold anything back." Mark nodded, exhaling shakily. He began explaining what the doctor had found, the tests, the concerns, the next steps. Kelly listened intently, her fingers never leaving his. As he spoke, she realized the devastating news wasn't just about the diagnosis, it was about the uncertainty, the fear of what they could lose, the unknown path ahead. Yet with every detail, she felt her determination harden. When he finished, she whispered, "We're going to get through this. And when we come out the other side, I'm going to make fun of you for thinking I couldn't handle it." He gave a weak laugh, the first hint of his usual charm returning. "I love you," he said simply. Kelly leaned her forehead against his. Always. They held each other as if the world outside had paused, as if time itself respected the moment. A few hours later, they stood together in the doctor's office, hands intertwined. Reporters buzzed outside, unaware, uninvited, irrelevant. Kelly and Mark ignored the noise, stepping forward as one, ready to hear everything, ready to face anything. And though tears had filled their morning, there was something else now, something stronger than fear. Hope. But even hope could not erase the memory of that kitchen, that coffee going cold on the table, that envelope that changed their morning forever. Kelly would never forget the moment Mark's voice cracked as he delivered the news she never saw coming. She would never forget how fragile he looked. She would never forget how her world shook. But she would also never forget how fiercely they clung to each other, two hearts refusing to break, even when the universe tried to shatter them. Stay tuned for all the updates about Kelly Ripa. We are the first to publish all the information about Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos, so stay with us to get all the latest updates. And stay tuned to our Kelly and Mark report for all updates.